Hello, students. We are here to talk about environmental microbiology and public health. And in this course, we have to talk about today health effects of air pollution. We know air is very important and air is present everywhere. Due to human anthropogenic activities, air is going to be contaminated with particles, with gases, with microbes, with fungi and their sport. They are going continuously in air. So we have to talk about the health effects of air pollution. If air is clean, what will be the effect on human health? If air is not clean, what will be the effect on health? So which type of things are present in air which are contaminating the air? And what type of effects they are causing when some healthy one is taking breath in that air. So we will focus on it today. Let health effects of air pollutants, air pollution, air pollutant criteria. How we will assume that which type of particle is present in air that cause that pollutes the air. If which type of and how much concentration of that pollutant is present in air that leads the air pollution or air contamination. So here we have to see that gases, if ozone concentration is highly present in atmosphere and air, that air is contaminated with carbon monoxide, nitrous gases, and sulfur-related gases if are present in air, or their particles are present in air, that air is contaminated. These are the causes. And particles, if particulate matter 2.5 is present in air, that air is polluted. It is from this 2.5 ppm particulate matter concentration in air is used to classify the air. If air have less than this, less than 2.5 particulate matter in air, that air is clean. And if lead particles are also there, that also leads to the air contamination. Let's see. NACAS, National Ambient Air Quality Standards from U.S. Federal Clean Air Act. This all presentation has been prepared from this U.S. Federal Clean Air Act and their related documents, where they made primary standards. They have set primary standards of the air, protect public health, including sensitive population. They set a standard of the air if the concentration of different pollutants which can be present in air, if the concentration exceeds from this limit, they can be toxic, they can be hazardous for the public health as well as those people who are sensitive in that environment. So they set primary standards to protect the public health, including those people who are sensitive population. That we see here, secondary standards have been set in this act in air pollut according regarding air pollutants to protect public welfare hazardous air pollutants, hydrogen, dioxin, and etc. Protect public welfare. And they used hazardous air pollutants, hydrogen, dioxin, and etc. For every pollutant, if the concentration of that pollutant is much more in atmosphere, that can lead to the air contamination. That can lead to the air contamination has been set as for them standards has been prepared in this act. This is air pollution criteria again. Regarding regulated under 1990 CAA amendment, this act has been prepared in this regulation. And some other important health aspects also has been included in this act, such as bioaerosols and medicinal purposes. Bioaerosols which are generating from different atmospheres and taking various types of biological substances, including chemical substances, to the environment, where they are living for longer time in environment and they are causing several negative health effects in that population. So it has been also included in this amendment. Exposure to air pollutant. If pollutants are present in air and people are taking that oxygen, that air into their lungs, what will happen? There are various gases which we have discussed in our in this slide, in this beginning of this slide, that ozone, carbon monoxide, nitrous oxides, and other gases, dioxin, the bioaerosols are present in air. Okay. If someone is taking breath in that air, what will happen? From atmosphere, these pollutants will go inside of the lungs. So what will happen? They will cause disease, chronic disease, and acute disease in individuals who are taking breath in that environment. Chronic disease and acute disease will take place in individuals who are taking breath in that environment. Okay. Such as you can see in this picture, this is the smog episode in New York City, 1963, National Archive photo by Chester Higgins. So if someone will take breath in that air, pollutants which are present in this air, either those pollutants has been raised from industries, from vehicles, from agricultural lands, or from forest, they will go in lungs and they will cause two types of disease, chronic disease and acute disease. Air pollution episode, short-term increase concentration. Uh, it, it depends on the condition. If particulate matter concentration increases for a shorter term or for longer term, if it is present for longer term, so it have more negative impact on those individuals who are taking this in their environment. So it all dependent on local conditions. If someone, if pollutants are for longer time in atmosphere, so they will cause more negative impacts on those people who are breathing in that, taking breath in that environment. If it is for shorter time, so it will give a shorter effect on public health. It will not lead very serious health effects. Epidemiological studies. So, epidemiological studies can tell us about the effects of the pollutants which are present in air. So, which type of disease has been caused by those pollutants in that area. So, statistical relationship between environmental factors and the human disease. So, it will tell about disease, that which type of pollutant is caused which type of disease on the people of that area and that region. So population susceptibility are changed. So people were susceptible from that particular matter, particular gas, smoke, or air, the people have changed their attitude. Latency period, lung cancer up to 30 years. So if people will live in certain environment where pollution is too much high, uh, so their cancer can be a normal impact. Toxicological, toxicological studies determine effects of toxic substances. So we can do this thing, statistical studies and toxicological studies in that environment where air is not clear and various type of pollutants are present in air. And the pollutant interaction, which type of pollutant is interacting with which type of interacting with which type of substances and leading to a health hazards or negative health effects. So if you will see the human respiratory system, pollutant is transported in via inhalation respiratory tract. When someone taking breath in an environment, they are taking air into this lungs through this channel. Okay, air will be inhaled through nose and through mouth. So what will be? It will go in lungs. Person at rest breathes 12 to 15 times a minute, 10 liters per minute. So a huge amount of air is taken in into lungs through breathing. So 10 liters per minute. So various type of pollutants can transfer from atmosphere from air to lungs. If air is healthy, there will be no negative impact and people will lead a healthy life. If air is polluted, air contains toxic gases and toxic materials and toxic pollutants uh, that will lead to the negative impacts. Similarly, three parts of the respiratory system: naropharyngeal system, naropharyngeal, uh, tracheobronchial, and pulmonary alveoli region. Lungs serve as portal of entry, high permeable and lots of blood flow. Pulmonary alveolar surface area 75 meter square meter. So when air is going into the lungs, the last region, the alveolar region of the lungs is highly sensitive and highly permeable, while pollutants from environment are going into the lungs, and from lungs carbon dioxide, from lungs and from blood carbon dioxide is going into the air and that is exhaled. So respiratory particle cleaning mechanism, site of site clean, rate of cleaning. Okay, cough. It is trachea and bronchi, instantaneous. Ciliary, large bronchi. It is present in large bronchi. Cilia will take cleaning of the lungs in large bronchi. Bronchi tree and bronchi airways. It will take zero point 0.5 hours, 3 hours, or 6 hours. In large bronchi, it will take zero point 0.5 hours. In bronchial tree, it will take to clean the particles from bronchial tree, it will take 3 hours, and bronchial airways for cleaning, it will take, cilia will take 6 hours. So it is very difficult whenever we are taking a contaminated or polluted air into the lungs, what it happens, it absorbs our air and we are coming out from that system, from that air, and we are allowing to lungs that they will naturally recover it. It will take this time. Macrophage at alveoli, it will take 24 hours. And if the pollutant will go into the lungs, into the lymphatic system or lung tissues, it takes months and years. So it is very dangerous. It can collapse the person who is taking breath in a polluted environment. So criteria of air pollutants, particulate matter PM, particulate matter. So small solid liquid aerosol particles that remain suspended in air is called particulate matter. Small solid liquid aerosol particles that remain suspended in air are particulate matter. What are the causes? Causes material handling, combustion process, gas conversion, and reaction. Due to these activities, material handling, combustion of different substances, different processes, gas conversion, and due to different reactions, these particles are solid or liquid particles are going into the air and causing a load of particulate matter in air. And the main sources of this particulate matter in air are industrial process, coal and oil burning, diesel, diesel motors and vehicles. These are responsible to produce or increase the particulate matter into the air, to release particles into the air that will live that will live in atmosphere for longer time and will cause negative effects on human health. So particulate matter criteria of air pollutant regarding particulate matter PM pollutant primary standards for human health average time and secondary standards. If you will see particulate matter 10 replaced with particulate matter 2.5 and annual arithmetic means etc. It is replaced 150 microgram per meter cube for 24 hours if particles are present in air. This is called particulate matter 2.5. Particulate matter 2.5, 15 microgram per meter cube and according annual arithmetic mean 35 microgram per meter cube for 24 hours if are present in air. That is called particulate matter 2.5. So we can see from here if 35 microgram of any pollutant is present in per meter in meter cube for 24 hours, so it is particulate matter concentration of that air is 2.5. Criteria air pollutants, particulate matter. Following inhalation, two possible facts. What will be if someone will inhale, someone will take breath in that environment? Two possible factors. Number one, deposition on or exhalation. Yeah, or that will be deposited into the lungs, or that will be exhaled at the same time from the system. Particle fate depends upon aerodynamics and physiological behavior of human beings. Methods of particulate deposition, interception, anterior impaction, Brownian diffusion, electrostatic attraction, or gravitational settling. Due to these mechanisms, whatever particles has been inhaled by, by any individual in that environment, those will be deposited into the surfaces of the respiratory system. Number one, anterior impaction, Brownian diffusion, or electrostatic attractions are gravitational centers. Deposition mechanism, inertial impaction, it is predominant for deposition particles, those particles which are near about 3 micrometer diameter, PM2, according to PM 2.5 reflection. Primarily in nasopharyngeal or tracheal bronchial regions, these will deposit. And Brownian diffusion predominant for those particles which have near about zero point 0.5 micrometer diameter, primarily in pulmonary alveolar region. So these will settle over here. Gravitational settling, particles having size 3 to 5 micrometer and the distal region of the bronchial airways, they will settle. These will settle down over there due to gravitational settling. Minimal mechanism, electrostatic attraction, interception, elongated particles such as fibers. These also will settle down into the different regions of the lung if these particles are present in air during inhalation. So, wheezing and coughing to heart attack and death. If these particles will settle down into the lungs, these will lead to the coughing and heart attacks. Total suspended particles. In presence of sulfur dioxide, direct correlation between total suspended particles and hospital visits for bronchitis, asthma, emphysema, pneumonia, and cardiac disease. Studies suggested that 60,000 deaths from particulate matter. 1% increase in mortality for 10 milligram per meter cube increases in PM. So it is very dangerous. Respiratory mortality up to 3.4% for the same cardiovascular mortality up to 1.4% for the same. Particulate matter 10 micrometer, coarse 2.5 to 10 micrometer fine particles. These particles mostly deposited in the nasopharyngeal region of the respiratory system, and in particulate matter 2.5 fine particles, serious health effects in alveolar gas exchange region. Why? Here we will explain a little bit more. Because these fine particles are diffused in blood and carried through blood into the different regions of the lungs. So, shift in Environmental Protection Agency regulation changed PM10 to PM2.5. Toxic or carcinogenic pesticides lead arsenic radioactive material. So these type of toxic pollutants are present in air which are inhaled by individuals, these will lead negative consequences in human health. 8% increases in lung cancer for each 10 microgram per meter cube increases in PM2.5. So it's very serious issue. Asthma, 14 Americans die per day of asthma, 3 times greater than 20 years ago. more medicines, more doctors, and so more hospital visits, more healthcare costs. So due to this, when particulate matter increases in atmosphere, it increases health issues, which increases a burden on human health in terms of visits to doctors, taken medicine, and other issues. So today we will stop up to this point, and our next session we will start from this point. Thank you. Have a nice time.